You know what that music means. It's time for Lemon Lime at 5. Thank you. We are on the go, on the run today, trying to make it because we're covering some stuff that you're going to be very interested in. So thank you for joining us for Lemon Live at 5. You know the order of business. You hit the like, you hit the thumbs up because it affects the algorithm. More people become aware of our conversation and our channel here. And we want everyone to be aware of that. Okay, so you guys have seen the thumbnail. So thank you for doing that. You guys have seen the thumbnail that we have up today, and it's Nicki Minaj. Are they the new couple? Like, what is going on? What is this love fest with Nicki Minaj and President Donald Trump? Here's the thing. Nicki Minaj appeared alongside Donald Trump today. It was in Washington, D.C. It was part of a high-profile rollout for a new administration initiative. The initiative is known as Trump Accounts. It is a federally supported investment program aimed at children born between 2025 and 2028. The event was held at the Public Summit designed to promote the program, which would provide qualifying newborns with the starter investment account funded with $1,000. The administration says that the accounts are intended to encourage long-term saving and financial literacy for families across the country. And so Minaj was there. She and Donald Trump met. They were on stage. They were chummy. Nicki Minaj also announced that she plans to contribute her own money to the program by helping fund Trump accounts for the children of some of her fans. Okay, so you guys, as you know, Nicki Minaj has received some backlash for her comments regarding gay people, regarding black people, and you know, there are at least her affiliation with MAGA is concerning to some African Americans. I want to bring in now Jason Lee. He's the founder and CEO of Hollywood Unlocked. Jason, good evening to you. Let's put up this picture of Donald Trump and Nicki Minaj. Jason, what is going on here?
I mean, obviously, we know, Donald Trump's affection to immigrants are only when he dates them or when they stick up for his bullshit. I mean, Nicki Minaj, as we know, is an immigrant, and she's not an American, and she's not facing deportation because her head is too far up the president's ass. I mean, this is something that is typical of Nicki. It's sad, though, that she is just selling out the culture, selling out her fans, and selling out her brand. For the price we don't know, but selling it out nonetheless for Donnie is just really embarrassing to watch.
Yeah, well, here she is. This is when Donald Trump brought her up on the stage. She's saying that she is Donald Trump's #1 fan. Here it is.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
Jason, could you hear and see that?
Yeah, I heard it. I mean, it's really sad when she's saying we're going to defend him or we're going to protect him. Who is the we're that she's talking about? I mean, just the fact that her wig had slipped and you can see her edges on this moment tells me that the gays have given up on her, because the gays are the people that get these girls together. And when I saw that wig slip, I said the gays have just stopped working with her altogether. I mean, look, if this was the RNC and she was following Amber Rose, maybe
Jason, you are shady AF. I'm just saying. But it's true, though. I noticed the same thing, but I didn't say it. I also said that coat was huge. I mean,
was it huge or was it snuggled? I mean, we don't know what's under there. Look, It's clear that if this was the RNC and she was following Amber Rose and it was before, the mass deportation of everybody black and brown, the killing of Renee Good, the killing of Alex Preddy, the standing behind the killings, the now flip-flopping on whether or not it was killings, the Christy Gnomes of it all, the Bondis of it all. If it was maybe before all of that, we would still side-eye, but be like, okay, girl, like we're over you. We don't know what phase you're going through. But after watching an assassination of two Americans, white Americans, this ain't even black people being shot by unarmed black people being shot by police. These are just white people now, ICU nurses, people protecting their neighbors from this attack on Americans from the federal government. And for her to get up there with a bad press was, just all around bad, bad, bad. Because Don, you've been on primetime TV, and right now you are the primetime. When the world is watching you.
Sure.
You knew when you went in that church in Minnesota and you knew that pastor was going to call the feds and they was going to try to lock you up. You knew you were going to have that lineup, right? You were going to be as cute as you could be, because if a mugshot was to follow, you were not going to give them any bad tea. She knew she was going up there to meet with Agent Orange, and she knew what was going to happen. She knew our ass was going to be here to talk about it. Why you go up in there with your wig slipping under that thing like that? Why?
You think the gays have given up?
The gays have given up. We don't even want the job no more. In a struggling economy, we're giving up doing hair for Nicki Minaj. Like what?
Well, maybe I think her nails may have been on point, because Donald Trump is saying he wants to let his nails grow just like hers. Here it is.
Nicki, come on up. Come on. She's been such a great supporter, and a great supporter of Trump accounts. And I said, I am going to let my nails grow because I love those nails. I'm going to let those nails grow. She's so good. She's been MAGA. What can I say? She's been with us all the way, right, Alex? She's been with us all the way. And just want to thank her.
So he's saying she is MAGA.
Well, let's first of all give a shout out to Nikki's nail tech and Donnie's makeup artist who covered up that bruise on his hand. I mean, obviously they were more concerned about the glamour than they were the good of America. I mean, whether or not she's been MAGA or not, nobody really knows where Nicki Minaj stands on anything. We know she's not going to stand on the red carpet of the Grammys where you are, because she's never won one. But look, I mean, I think although I'm bringing humor to it all, it's a really sad moment in America where we're watching democracy at stake, where we're watching the lives of our fellow Americans being taken because they're standing for what they have the constitutional right to stand for. I mean, to see the desecration of our Constitution and just what America stands for, and the whole world watching, while he plants his Trump Tower in Gaza. A genocide happened under his watch, his attack on Africa, her supporting the attack on Africans. I mean, I don't really know where she's going with this, and I don't know how this is going to work with her album rollout in March, but nonetheless, I won't be there. In fact, I might get some lighter fluid and burn it in the street.
Jason, is she pulling, I asked this to my team, and it's in all seriousness, and this is not shade, is she pulling a Kanye?
I worked with Kanye as head of media, as you know. I mean, Kanye is Kanye. And so, like, there's a certain element of, like, we expect things from Kanye. So when Kanye says slavery is a choice, he's not saying in his own mind that slaves just chose to be slaves. He's saying that collectively we're stronger together. And if we would have really worked together and just, worked harder to overcome slavery, whatever. I mean, that's his own rationale. Of course, I think it's all crazy shit. But Kanye is Kanye crazy. Nicki Minaj, this is just weirdo. This is just some weird shit. Now, her husband isn't facing any federal charges. Her brother's still locked up for molesting his stepdaughter. And so I don't know what the motivation is. Like, is the bag big enough? The way he was talking about her, promoting his product, was almost like an endorsement from hell. And then on top of that, the way he was looking at her ass was kind of crazy too. No, let's not forget he has 34 charges of sexual assault and all those other things sitting behind her. So You know, petals of a feather flock together, I guess. I don't know what's happening over there. I am far away from that, prayed up and staying away from the weird shit.
Well, people were asking, we almost put it on there. It's like, is this the new MAGA power couple here? Because that's what they look. They look like they were booed up. No?
Okay, Don, you're gaslighting me to get, because you want me to go to jail with you. Because let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I love Don Lemon. I will take a Don Lemon call any hour of the day and night. But last week when he was in a fight with Trump and Nicki on the same day, and the feds was looking for him, y'all, I told my team the block is too hot on the Lemon Live. Stay the hell away from there. I threw all my lemons out my house. I don't even want lemons in the house.
You told me you're like, I haven't done. What you have? You're having a procedure done. I'm like,
Well, I know I was having a procedure done. It wasn't one that kept me out for long enough to miss your show, but I just went ahead and just took a break. You know, Don, you are out there doing the Lord's work. When you talk about Christianity, you are the Christian that of all Christians right now, where you can walk up in a church and just discover the fact that this church isn't even living by the word of God. Love thy neighbor, right? Unless you're black or brown, Somalian or whatever. Back to Nicki. I don't know if it's mental break, if it's the allegations that she's on the Tina, that cocaine. I don't know. I just want the Nicki, the Roman Empire Nicki back. The
allegedly,
woman allegedly. Oh no, all of that. It's all allegedly. Everything's allegedly.
Everything's allegedly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Tina, the coca, what you said, that's alleged.
Whatever. I'm just saying what the streets are saying. I don't know what she's doing. We see the weird behavior when she gets online. She gets mad and she threatens.
Look, seriously, I'm going to tell you the truth. I want you to finish your thought, but as they say, I don't study Nicki like that. I don't even like her music. I've never been a fan of her music. I've never been a fan of hers. Now, Cardi is my girl. And I wish I would see Cardi this weekend, but apparently she's not going to be here. I saw her last year and she was amazing. But Cardi's my girl. I've never been a Nicki fan. I just don't like the energy. Never have.
Well, I love Cardi, and look, Cardi will be back on Monday. If you're still here Monday, we can go to her rehearsal for her tour. But look, I love Nicki's music. I do love Nicki as an artist. This is unfortunately one of those situations for me, like an R. Kelly, where I cannot separate the artist from the music. I can't listen to a Nicki song without thinking of the fact that she woke up this morning. She took her wig off its helmet and tacked it on that head and went over there with him to stand up there and promote whatever she promoted and sold her soul to tell everybody that she's her biggest fan, as if the Barbs. Now, I've labeled the Barbs a terrorist group years ago, but here's where me and the Barbs now are on the same page. The Barbs are even waking up. Even the Barbs are like, hold on, girl, we love your music, but what are you doing over here? You know, we ain't moving with you over there like that. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And I want to say shout out to the Barbs who are fleeting the Barbie house. And look, Barty Gang is always taking new fans, so you can always come over to Cardi's side or any other side that you want, that you need, because that's what you do with immigrants, right? You allow them to find freedom in places of refuge where they are being attacked, and right now they are under attack from their own queen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but could it be that, allegedly, reportedly, even she said that she's undocumented? Is she trying not to be deported? I don't know what her status is, but that's according to her.
Well, there is an active petition of hundreds of thousands of people that are saying Nicki Minaj should be deported. Isn't it ironic that there's people being deported who have no petition to get them out of here, but there's somebody who has hundreds of thousands of people saying, please get her out of our country, and they haven't gotten rid of her? I don't know. It's sad to watch, but what do you do? I mean, this is America.
It is. There's something I'm going to send to my team. Team, I sent you the earlier before we started discussing the show. There's a woman in the parking lot on Instagram, and if you can put that up, that would be great. Because she is giving the energy that you said that you wanted right now. But let's see, Nicki Minaj shares new photo with Donald Trump. Imagine being the person who got to show Mariah Carey this today. Okay, wait, hold on. Play this. Start it from the beginning, and let's hear the audio. You see what it says? You can't. It says me directing ICE to Nicki Minaj's house, and there's a woman out there directing traffic.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing that really frustrates me, you know. And look, I'm an elected official, believe it or not, I am. And I know now, being on the inside of it, when you strip the veil away of politics, it's so messy behind the scenes, and it's all about the spin. It's how can you take anything you do and spin it to sell it to the people, right? So she's going to get up there, and of course now it's Christian, Christian, Christian. I don't know what God these people are serving, because I can tell you, as a black gay man who loves God, whose whole book, God Must Have Forgotten About Me, is about his faith and finding my faith. The God I serve, the God you serve, don't hate nobody. So how is it that you can align yourself with a warmonger, with a troglodyte who has no love or compassion or empathy for people around the world, unless they think like
Not,
him?
not the troglodyte. I mean, you going straight to the Bible
Listen,
with
there it is.
with the troglodyte. But this is also something. This is a one for Mariah Carey. This thing about Mariah Carey. Tom Smith says, "Imagine being the person who got to show Mariah Carey this today, and it's a picture of Nicki Minaj with Donald Trump." The meaning behind that, Mariah has always been kind of shady, right? They don't like each other because of their time on, what was it, America's Got Talent or something, or The Voice or whatever.
Well, no, they were on America's American Idol. They were hosts together
American Idol.
years ago, but it was a lack of just not liking each other. Nikki was very indignant to her and very non-respectful of the fact that Mariah Carey is an icon that earned her stripes. She has all the top number one hits that Nicki Minaj could ever get, the Grammys Nicki Minaj can ever get, and actually the wigs that Nicki Minaj absolutely couldn't find today. And so, when you have somebody like that in the room, you don't have to bow down to them, but you can at least give them respect. Nikki has never been a girl's girl. Her career is going to go down in history as the one woman who wanted to wear the crown and keep it all to herself. But that crown today has tilted in a way that pulled her wig down, and we all see her for who she really is. And the root of the problem is you, Nikki.
Why do you say that?
Well, I said the root of the problem is her because of roots, but the real root of the problem here is the fact that we're talking about Trump today because of Nikki. Nikki has given him another day in the news. Now going into black culture news, because this is not just going to be in mainstream news. This is going to be on Hollywood Unlocked, Shade Room. It's going to be all over black media as well. So they're smart enough to use her to get the propaganda out to the people that they're trying to pull away from the Jasmine Crockett's, the Barack Obamas, and the left of it all.
Yeah, it's true. But if you could, can we talk about the album? Is she, when she did this whole MAGA thing, she lost so many people online. I think you knew about that. Followers. I think she either deleted or paused or whatever.
They said like 10 million. They reported that she lost 10 million followers or something crazy.
So then what does that do? As we know, with the MAGA crowd, they're good for political stuff. That's all well and good. But for like the arts, not so much, especially for like going to see movies, especially if they deem them liberal. And Charlie Kirk, actually, she is on stage, as you know, and is cozying up to Erica Kirk. This is what Charlie Kirk said about her, which is why it's just so flummoxing to me that she's taken this turn. Here it is.
By influences, songs. Right now, black culture is being held captive by influences, songs,
Which
and role models.
influences?
I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't think that songs that are talking about like glorifying wet female genitalia is exactly, I don't know which one wrote that song. Which one was it?
I think it was Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right.
But is
You get my point.
Well, this is yes, and then she went and sat on stage with Erica Kirk, and as she was describing JD Vance as an assassin, she remembered that the woman sitting across from her husband was just assassinated. She's not even getting cliff notes on how to do this shit right. She's just recklessly as her wig today is how she's moving through this moment. And again, it's not, it's being documented, so we're gonna see it forever. And it's sad that this is what her legacy will be remembered of. We're not living in an era where we have, you know, the Tupacs of the world where they can still talk their shit in music, but they still stood for something. Brenda's Got a Baby, you know, talking about Dear Mama. You know, Tupac had music that was woven into the movement of African Americans, and maybe that came from his mother Afeni being a Black Panther, or just his finger on the pulse of what our community needs. I don't know what pulse she's touching right now, other than Trump's, you know, sweaty, clammy McDonald's
Purple.
hamburger holding, definitely masturbating in the East Wing hand. It's just disgusting, and God bless America.
The thoughts and views
Don,
of this
stop!
guest
Don,
are of
stop
his
inviting
own.
me on your. Don, stop inviting me on your show to get me in trouble. You know damn well you caught me at a moment of vulnerability. I probably haven't slept enough, and you know, please don't hold me accountable for everything I said, but please share it, and tell everybody about it.
Jason, I want to ask you something after this, though, but stand by for that. First of all,
Okay.
this is what DL Hughley. This is what DL Hughley is saying about Nicki.
That unfolded at this church.
Right.
You saw this, right? Nicki Minaj going after Don Lemon. You see this, like for
Nicki Minaj,
for
you know,
reporting
it was so funny to me. People hate. It's so funny how many on the right hate. They hate transgender and gay people more than they do pedophiles. It's amazing to me. Nicki don't need to worry about
lot of
Don.
this.
She need to be with damn Don Lemon, and Nicki Minaj needs to be worried about Chris Hansen. She needs to be worried about.
So
There are
that was
more
shady. Okay,
illegal-
okay, that was shady. And you know what is he talking about?
You know what he's talking about. Stop trying. Don, stop asking me questions. You're just mad because a week ago the federal government was coming to lock your ass up, and that federal judge that spared you, God bless him or her soul, don't try to get me matching orange, okay? Let's keep lemons and the yellow to that. Let me say
Why
this
is he
though.
saying that?
Let me say this, okay? This Republican Party right now, this MAGA party is so crazy. This same people who don't believe in abortion also believe in the death penalty.
And don't tell me
know
they're
how-
not getting abortions. I'm just saying, because I know a
Well,
couple
first
of
of
them.
all, they probably excreting those those babies that they get off of their grinder hookups, because you know they're over there.
Jason, you don't even drink. I mean, but anyways,
I
go
don't need
on.
to drink. I don't need to drink to serve up the tea. I put lemon in my tea too. You know that, right?
Yes, but you were saying, as it relates to MAGA, that what?
You know that you know, remember when you were on my show and you talked about how all the Republicans were trying to hook up with you and stuff. You know how they were. You know how they move. You know the closeted homosexuals, and the pedophiles that, you know, they have this propaganda, and they try to divide America by trying to insinuate that gay people are all pedophiles. First of all, we don't even like to hear your kids in the mall. We don't like to see you with them in the streets with the leashes on. Keep them kids over there. I don't want your kids in my house. I don't even hug and hold babies that don't belong to me. So we don't want your children. But you constantly gaslight people into believing that sex. Oh yeah, she called you a cocksucker too. By the way, she called me a
Yes.
cocksucker too. We're both cocksuckers.
No, but
apparently.
she was yours was worse. Didn't she call you like the ultimate or the
No, she gave me cocksucker of the
king?
month. She gave me
of the month.
cocksucker of the month, but I didn't get an award for it. It was just she kind of threw my name out there. But that's when I told her brother probably in prison sucking cock since he was molesting his niece or his daughter. You know,
Is it a stepdaughter? I don't know. Allegedly.
stepdaughter, allegedly,
Allegedly.
12-year-old, allegedly.
Allegedly. I want to ask you what this does for her music. That's where I was going to before I went to the Mariah Carey thing. Mariah Carey, you know, has sold millions upon millions of records. Is very talented. You cannot deny she and Whitney Houston were the voice of the 90s, right? And the late 80s and early 90s and 2000s. Okay, but here's the thing. What does this do for her musically? We'll know when the album comes out. But can you stand by? Can you give me 2 minutes? I just want to roll this break. And then we're back with Jason Lee. All right.
Yeah.
Support comes from Shopify. Now, when I started the Don Lemon Show, I had to figure out everything at once: scripts, setups, filming, logos, merch, all of it. It was overwhelming. Every day brought another decision, another task, another thing pulling at my attention. Well, that's why the right tool matters. And for millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify powers millions of brands worldwide and about 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from global companies to people just getting started. So here at the Don Lemon Show, we use Shopify to bring you the merch you love. You don't need to be a designer or a tech expert. Shopify offers beautiful, ready-to-use templates, plus built-in AI tools that help with product descriptions, images, and even discount codes. They also help you find customers with email and social campaigns while handling inventory, shipping, and returns. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. So start your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon. Support comes from Lean. Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results, well, they look dramatic. They lower blood pressure and they reduce appetite, but not everyone wants weekly injections or the side effects that can come with them. That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean. Lean is designed to support healthy blood sugar, help your body burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb appetite and cravings, so you're not constantly hungry. This is important. Lean isn't for everyone, isn't for someone trying to lose just a few pounds. It was created for frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose, people who've tried everything and need real support. So Lean works best alongside healthy eating and regular movement, helping your efforts go further instead of fighting your body. Right now, you can get 20% off plus free rush shipping. Just go to takelean.com and use the promo code LEMON. That's TAKELEAN.com, and the promo code is LEMON.
All right, back now with Jason Lee. So, Jason, I just want to play this. This is because we're talking about politics. People are wondering, why are we covering this? This is a big deal, especially for people of color and fans of Nicki Minaj. This is her. Now, you know how people feel about Mike Johnson. This is her being greeted by Mike Johnson today. Watch.
I almost wore this coat today. I'm so glad I didn't.
Mike Johnson saying, I almost wore this coat today. I'm so glad I didn't.
They're laughing in her face, and it's just sad to watch. I mean, again, we can, all jokes aside or all whatever aside, Nicki Minaj is an iconic member of the hip hop community, and her legacy is woven into the rafters or into the scripts of those who came before her, like the Biggies and the Tupac. I mean, she is a great hip hop artist. It's just a shame to see her her go down in flames the way that she is. But yeah, I mean,
what happened to her music? What is when this album?
I mean, listen, you think about Kanye West in the midst of all his attacks on the Jewish community, the All Lives Matter, George Floyd's, all that, he would have still sold out his Yeezys because that hype beast culture, that fame culture that Kanye amassed did not go away because he started to share his personal views. I don't know yet that Nicki Minaj's brand can withstand the test of time when it comes to that, or whatever is going to come with that. I know I won't be listening to it, but I stopped listening to Nicki Minaj a long time ago.
Jason, thank you. You better be kind to me when I see you this week, or there's going to
listen. I'm going to be kind to you, but let me tell you something, Don Lemon.
Don't start it.
If I see you on the red carpet and I see any federal agent walking by with their earpiece on, I'm out. I'm out.
There's going to be lots of security. You may get it all. One never knows. Do one. But Jason, you paid me the ultimate compliment. Would you say that I took your status as something? I'm like, there's no way. You are the king, brother.
Well,
I'm following the trail that you blazed.
Obviously, I love to stroke egos, but Don, I'm gonna always stay the king of the internet. I mean, you could be the king. You could be the king. We'll both be the king. There's no need to fight. We're not Nicki and Cardi. We are
fighting.
Don and Jason.
And when is our project coming?
Soon. The Lemon Nation and the Gag Nation need to unite. I have an idea. Oh my God. I think we would end up in jail for sure. We would end up in federal custody, at least for a day.
I think, though, that the reason I started Hot Topics is I think that America was missing Wendy's messiness.
Absolutely.
A hot, loving mess. And so, people love a hot mess, and we can be a hot mess together if you want to do something.
I'm ready. All right, great. Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jason. I'll see you soon. All right. The great Jason Lee, Hollywood Unlocked. Okay. So we have some breaking news, and here is the breaking news. Roll it.
We're following breaking news out of Fulton County, Georgia. That's where the FBI says it is serving a warrant at an elections office.
CNN Chief Legal Affairs Correspondent Paula Reed is with us now. Paula, what are you learning about this?
Brianna, here's what we know as of right now. The FBI confirming that this search is connected to an ongoing investigation. And a source tells CNN that this is part of an effort by the Justice Department to seize election records and pursue allegations of voter fraud in the 2020 election. Now, the metro Atlanta area is, of course, the centerpiece of President Trump's baseless claims that the 2020 election was stolen from him. The Justice Department has previously sued the county to try to obtain these records. That litigation is ongoing. Now, another important piece of context here is that in the first Trump administration, under then Attorney General Bill Barr, the Trump Justice Department looked into these allegations and did not find enough evidence to pursue a full-blown investigation. But here, the second Trump Justice Department is back and serving the search warrant.
Okay, so this is now we're back to 2020, and look, you heard what she said. Is that this all happened? I feel like I'm back sitting at CNN on the anchor desk because this all happened before this administration looked into it when they were in office the first time, and they had all the levers of the government, and they didn't find anything. As a matter of fact, these cases all went to court and they were all litigated. I'm not exactly sure what this is except for retribution at this point. Every time they bring one of these cases, it gets thrown out. Tish James's case got thrown out. Comey, similar. And so I'm not exactly sure what this is and what the fascination is with trying to prove something that is not provable. That was the 2020 election, they said, was the most secure election in American history. And that's not just me saying that, that's what every single court said, and every single court said that under a Donald Trump administration. And now he's bringing this back. You know what that makes me wonder every time something like this happens? It makes me wonder what the hell is in those Epstein files? Like, what could be in those Epstein files that has them so adamant and just enraged and just scurrying to try to deflect and distract? And aren't there bigger issues that they have to deal with of their own making? Because remember, no matter what you hear about what's going on in Minnesota and all of that, and two people are dead or whatever, that's a crisis of their own making. None of that had to happen. And there were ways in this country to deport people without violating their civil rights and their right to due process. And so now here we are with them doing that, and now they're going back to this. I feel like, and I said this before, that we're all living in Donald Trump's psychosis, and the Justice Department is just going along and doing what he wants him to do. But in the meantime, they are incompetent and making him look bad in the process. Someone needs to say, you know what, this is not going to work. I want to bring in our legal mind, Monique Pressley, to discuss this. So Monique, what is going on? I thought this was behind us, like search warrants from 2020. Like, what's up with that?
Oh, no. They can do what they want to do. And they're gonna, because they're lawless. And so it doesn't matter that things have been fully investigated. That's no issue. It doesn't matter that courts have made decisions about it. None of that. And that was why when he said what he said in Davos, I knew. I was like, uh-oh, here we go.
What do you mean?
Well, because when he said, which I on my Instagram, everybody was talking about all of his crazy talk in Davos, and I called it like the debacle in Davos. But I said the one thing that people needed to be paying attention to was the 22 seconds where he said on the world stage with all those world leaders there that the 2020 election was rigged, and that everybody knows that now. They found out that it's rigged, and people are going to be held accountable. People are going to be arrested. He said that in Davos. And I was like, this is what you need to pay attention to, because he can't let it go. And since he can't let it go, it won't be let go. And it is the setup for them to try to, everything right now is about us not having elections in November and not having a need for elections, because he knows that if President Obama's first midterm was a shellacking, this is going to be quite literally the death of the GOP. And
you think he knows that?
Absolutely. I mean, and he went to a fundraiser a couple of weeks ago, and he told the Republicans, you got to win, you got to get out there, you got to hold on in the midterms, because if you don't do it, they're going to impeach me. And so, and part of that is not anything to do with him really thinking that he would end up out of office. It's signaling for the MAGA folks who will believe that and then gin up the base again, because he's losing. He's losing in every possible way now. Everything that you said is true, and everything that I believe. I said their incompetence is the only thing really that's saving us, because they don't know how to do a lot of things well, but that includes being criminals. They're not good at that either.
So here's the breaking news, everyone, coming into the Don Lemon Show newsroom. So this happened just not long ago. Officials from the Federal Bureau of Investigations raided, or the FBI raided, the Fulton County Elections warehouse on Wednesday. A court order signed by Magistrate Judge Catherine M. Salinas authorized agents to seize all physical ballots from the 2020 election in Fulton County, all ballot images, and Fulton County's 2020 voter rolls. A copy of the order was given to the recorder by a Georgia lawmaker. The Fulton County Election Hub and Operations Center is located in Union City, just south of Atlanta. Here is a quote from the clerk. It says, "We are aware of the ongoing law enforcement activity involving the FBI at the Fulton County warehouse," said K. Lenthea Moore, the executive assistant to Fulton County Clerk Shay Alexander. "At this time, we are only aware of activities involving the warehouse location." So what then, if it's been investigated by so many courts, what then is the evidence? What might the evidence be in order to get a magistrate judge to sign off on this money?
Well, I think he said to somebody that he believes that Fulton County was shredding votes. Shredding them. And so they're going to go and look and invent until they can find. I mean, we're actually rehashing the playbook, right? And so since the judge, the prosecutor who was appointed to replace Fonnie Willis got rid of the case that rightfully was brought against Trump and all of his co-conspirators, they're just saying, okay, the gang's back together. Let's do it once more and again. And Raffensperger hasn't commented yet, I don't believe, but he was the one who said, our elections, and this is a Republican, a Trump supporter, but saying there is no evidence whatsoever of widespread voter fraud or any voter fraud, and that if anything, the people who were trying to do something to stop Georgia voters, it was the GOP, and getting rid of, I don't know if people even remember, they got rid of a lot of the different polling places where people had to go miles and miles to get to the next polling place, and it's
drop boxes.
It's out in rural Georgia where there's not transit system, and so it was very a hardship. They had it like, it may as well be count these marbles so you can vote. Tell us how many blue marbles are in this jar. I mean,
talking about poll taxes now.
Yes, voter suppression, voter oppression. And then it'll be like people just didn't go to the polls and vote. Well, no, if you get beat down and beat down and beat down, and it's harder and harder and harder, and you got to take off a day's work just to be able to go to the polls and expend money you don't have to get there, yeah, people end up not voting. Go figure.
We're supposed to be making voting easier for all, accessible to all Americans, not harder. In December, the U.S. Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Fulton County for refusing to turn over voter records from the 2020 election. Alexander previously denied Justice Department officials' requests for the data, according to the lawsuit, stating that the records were under seal and could not be released without a court order. She later filed a motion to dismiss the complaint. The Justice Department has also filed a lawsuit against Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who you mentioned, seeking Georgia's unredacted voter data. And then this is from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that's reporting this. President Donald Trump has long claimed without evidence that the 2020 election was stolen in Georgia and other swing states, blaming his loss on unfounded accusations of rampant voter fraud, even though 2 recounts affirmed former President Joe Biden's victory in Georgia. Last week in a speech in front of, as you said, Monique, the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Trump once again claimed that the 2020 election was rigged and said that the individuals involved will soon be prosecuted for what they did. You are very astute that you noticed that, but I don't understand this without evidence. And it has, again, I'll say, there were 2 recounts. And remember, I think in both of the recounts, Joe Biden actually got more votes than he originally did. So he actually made his margin of victory bigger. But how do you just go around claiming something that's not true and then you're able to get a search warrant and start investigating it again?
So here's the thing. If your relationship with the truth is such that it's not required for anything that you say to come out of your mouth, like your relationship with the truth for decades has been truth. What is this? Like in my household, because I only passed the math gene to one of my 3 children, we call math myth. Like it's a myth. We have no idea what it is for. My daughter is in musical theater for that reason. We don't process it, right? It doesn't exist for us. That is Donald Trump and the truth. What is this truth? It doesn't matter. He needs 11,000, however many it was, votes. And it doesn't matter that even if he got all of them, Georgia alone wouldn't be enough for him to win the election. We are in, as you said before I came on, we are living in his brain. We are living in his psychosis. We are living in his illness. We are from pole to pole like he is. We are up and down like he is. If he's up all night, hopped on whatever he's hopped on, and starts tweeting and Xing, whatever they call it, we're on X with him. I'm not saying he's on X, y'all. I'm saying he's on X, the platform. I don't know what he's actually on that makes it so that he will do like those frenzies where he just starts doing 25, 30 posts in the middle of the night. But we are living in that with him, and they don't have boundaries. Don, did you see what Pam Bondi did today in Minnesota? I don't know if we're talking about that or not.
No. I did not.
In the same vein, she announced at like 1:35 that she's there on the ground in Minnesota, that 17 Minnesotan rioters have been arrested for interfering with ICE investigations or interfering with federal agents. And she listed their names and posted all of their mugshots in her feed on X. And I was incensed about that, not just because these are citizens, these aren't immigrants, these aren't violent criminals. They're doing the same thing that they tried to do with you and tried to do with the people in the church, where these people who, even if they, such as the protesters, not you as a journalist, but as the protesters, even if they did something wrong, it's nonviolent. It's not a felony, it's a misdemeanor. But here, these citizens she refers to as rioters. She lists their names. She includes their mugshots. Now, in this country, where we try to get rid of the box, where you have to answer in order to get employed if you've ever been convicted of a felony before, nothing says, have you ever been arrested before? That's right, Kyoko E. -808. That is exactly my point. They've been arrested, but arrest is a matter that is available publicly. You can find out, unless it is expunged, you can find out if somebody's been arrested. But it's one thing to be arrested. It's another thing for the head of the Department of Justice to publicize your arrest on their accounts. I mean, these poor 17 people, even when all of this goes away, which surely it will, they're never going to have life as normal because their whole identity has been plastered all over the world because of an arrest. It's absurd, but that is all way back to my original point. That is all what Donald Trump is about right now. They're trying to create new messaging in Minnesota to get the story back on their side. And it doesn't matter whether it's lawful or not. Pam Bondi is his puppet. And so if they want FBI to investigate in Georgia, then the FBI is going to investigate in Georgia. And if they need to get a warrant, they will ask and 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 retire people and hire new people until they get a judge that's willing to do it. And that's what they did.
Wow. That was the answer to my question. Stand by, Monique. We'll talk more after this break. A word from our sponsors.
Okay.
This episode of The Don Lemon Show is brought to you by Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. They're all ready in about 25 minutes. I mean, that's amazing. Unlike store-bought bread, Wild Grain uses simple ingredients that you can pronounce and a slow fermentation process. No preservations, no shortcuts, okay? So their boxes are fully customizable. You can choose a classic variety box, gluten-free, vegan, or their new protein box. It's perfect for quick dinners, weekend brunches, or those cold nights when you want something warm and comforting without the work. So there's something special about having bakery quality bread and pasta ready whenever you need it. And right now, Wild Grain is offering $30 off your first box plus free croissants for life. Can't beat that. Go to wildgrain.com/lemon. Use the promo code LEMON at checkout. We're sponsored today by Incogni, thousands of companies that you have heard of, never heard of. They collect, sell, and they trade your personal data every day. Your name, your address, your phone number, email, even family connections. So when I checked where my information was floating around, I was stunned. Sites I never signed up for had my data sitting out in the open. That's where Incogni comes in. Incogni works to remove your personal information from data broker websites by contacting them directly and demanding removal, and they handle the entire process for you. Their unlimited plan even allows custom removals, giving you deeper protection. So this matters because scammers use this data to make their messages look real, and that's how people get tricked. So take control of your privacy. Go to incogni.com/DonLemon and use the code DonLemon for 60% off. That is incogni.com/DonLemon and use the code DonLemon for 60% off.
Just go on there and just put Don Lemon, Don Lemon, Don Lemon and everything. Okay, back now with Monique Pressley. Monique, so answer me. So then where does this go? What does this do? What like to what end?
I see so many people in the comments who are talking about yet another waste of taxpayer dollars. And that's exactly what it is. It is likely not going anywhere because we already know the facts. And if they try to indict people, accuse them of things like they did where they were saying that there were garbage bags full of votes, full of ballots that were being carried out of one place in Fulton County. And then it turned out that it was completely untrue, that it was ballots that had already been tabulated that were being moved. And so, I mean, there are still active civil suits for people who they defamed and caused so much trouble for 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And so I expect more of the same, but these kind of headlines are what the base needs, his MAGA base, in order for them to say, yeah, he's still in the game. He's still searching for truth because he never should have lost that election. But what it really is just that he cannot concede failure. That's all that really is. Can't concede it. And
so,
if we have elections in the midterm and it's great losses, it won't have anything to do with him. Because he's already started saying, if Trump was on the ballot, we wouldn't have this problem. But Trump is not on the ballot. Well, of course you're on the ballot.
Well, let me ask you then, because since you mentioned that the 2026 election or the midterms, what did you make of? I didn't ask you about this on the show or at all. What do you make of Pam Bondi asking for the voter rolls in Minnesota? And it's basically what they're doing here in Georgia, by the way, but go on.
The amount of charges that lady is going to have against her and the swiftness with which she is not going to have a bar card when she leaves office, it's going to be like swivel neck type swiftness. And I hope all y'all who are watching her antics are reporting her to the Florida bar and wherever else, because yes, you can while she's in office. Not that he would fire her, because arguably this is another one of those dark, deep holes for our Constitution and for our guidelines that you don't find out until you need it. Apparently, you don't necessarily have to be an attorney to be the U.S. Attorney General. Now, we want to pick the best and the brightest, but no, it's not required. Okay, so yes, she should, but it's a bribe, and not a subtle one, and not a persuasive one, because what she was saying that, and Governor Walz talked about this at length, the things that she was saying they're supposed to do, they're already doing. And then the turning over of the voter rolls for what purpose, like other than the same purposes that Musk and company came in and got God knows what. But thankfully, state to state to state control our voting information, and Minnesota is rightfully saying no. But as A.G. Ellison said, we are a republic, and people might not remember that. He did this great speech where he was talking about how, I'm sure you played it on your show one of these days, but how he's not afraid. He's not afraid of Trump. He's not afraid of their machine. He's going to stand up for Minnesota. He's standing up for states' rights. We're supposed to be a republic. And one of the things that is reserved for the state is voting, is overseeing voting. And for the federal government to come in and do this, we are headed for a constitutional battle that is going to likely land it working its way through the upper courts into the Supreme Court, because they're inching and inching further and further and further into usurping states' rights. And I'm from Texas. We try to secede at least once every 5 years, just on general principle.
Y'all in Staten Island.
The only reason we're not doing it right now is because, gambling Greg Abbott got his whole treasure attached to the Trump train, or else we would be hollering like everybody else. That's the only reason why there's no surge in Texas. It's because Greg Abbott is with the Trump train. But I believe that Minnesotans should be, with coordination of their governor, their attorney general, whomever else, they shouldn't be paying no damn federal income tax right now. The hell you say you be getting my money? Yes, the federal government wants to fight. Okay, fight. You have occupied our state. You are invading us. You are killing us. You are shooting us. You are jailing us. You're not getting my money. And now we can properly have this fight. We want our income taxes. We're not going to not pay them. We want them to go into trust the same way it happens when you got to hold your rent and fight rent abatement. You got to put it in trust until these matters are sorted out. And every area that is under attack, every state should be doing exactly that. The hell you say you're going to get
the state puts it under trust, not you. You have to file.
The state, right. The state, this is something the state would have to coordinate. An individual citizen who does it is going to go to jail. But if the state would, for real, in this way, stand up for itself, and I don't know, Keith Ellison is a smart guy. I know what I'm talking about is very, very radical, but I stand by what I'm saying.
Okay. Speaking of money and grifting, I want to put this picture up. Have you seen the new MAGA power couple? You ready? Here it is.
No.
Check it out.
Oh, I know what you were going to say.
Okay, we'll end there. Now I know what you think. Thank you, Monique.
Did you see when he was like behind her and he was like off to the side? Then he itched a little bit more, like, and then he got a little closer. I'm trying to tell you, people think that this man is racist about Black women. It's that's not what it is. That's child. If he can get up on one, well, he might be up on one today. I don't know, but he sure. I mean, and I know these facts personally. I can't say why, but I know these facts personally. That look at him. Look, he's so happy. Child, you can't tell him nothing.
Is that what's his face from Kevin O'Leary? That's what it looks like. There's Kevin O'Leary.
Is that who it is?
It looks like Kevin O'Leary behind the teleprompter.
Well, I can't see because mine it's short for mine.
Yeah.
I can't see the other
is that,
people. I can
is that Kevin O'Leary?
See,
yeah, that's Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, that's
Kevin
him.
Always wears
I can only see the clown at the podium and the super clown. And look at that smile. Ooh, he finally got one.
Thank you, Monique. Goodbye. You're crazy. Thank you, Monique Pressley. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, if you want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, all you have to do is go to donlemon.com. Go to donlemon.com, and everything you need to know is there. Also, I want to tell you, it's right there at the top. This is very important to us. Usually, I don't really care about awards. And look, it's great that we're nominated, and we're up against the behemoths of the world, the big news networks with millions and millions and millions of viewers, and et cetera. You guys know that. So we've made it very simple for you to vote for us. We've been nominated for 4 NAACP Image Awards. We've made it very easy for you to go through the process and vote for us. And you can do it every 24 hours, but resets every 24 hours. So all you do is follow the steps there. One, I'll just show you one. You go 1, and then you back out. Well, you vote. All right. Did we do this morning? Is it already reset? And then you
We did
back
it this
out.
morning, yeah.
We did. What happened? It reset already? And then you back out and go to 2. So let's go through the whole thing then, since we already did it. And see, and then you hit the vote there, and then you go back to the donlemon.com, and then you go to number 3 on donlemon.com, and then you vote there, and then you back out back to donlemon.com, and then you go to number 4, and then you vote right there as well. And then when you're done voting there, back out, go to donlemon.com, and then go to 5 on donlemon.com. And there you can go to the bottom, and it has submit vote, a submit vote button. At the bottom. Oh, okay. All right. So, and then you hit a submit now, and then so you can check for all of the ones that you voted for right there. And then you hit submit again, and then you put in your email, submit, and you're done. And you can go back and do it again. I don't know if it's 12 hours or 24, but we did it this morning. And oh well, it worked. Okay, so here's the thing. I think if Nicki Minaj got a gold card, is that a citizenship card that she got? Did you guys see that? Do we have that up? Because I know that Peter is telling us we need to look at it.
It's
But
up,
she
yeah.
got a gold card. Does that mean her gold card is this the gold membership card, the gold citizenship card? Does that mean she's a citizen? United States of America, isn't it the whole thing that you can pay to get entry into the US and you get a gold card and then you become a citizen, right? Nicki Minaj has received Donald Trump's gold card, which grants her US residency. There you go. Told ya. Told you. I told you. I told you. There it is. She got a gold card, a citizenship card. She has received the gold card, which grants her U.S. residency. And now you know the rest of the story. Thank you for your support. Be informed without being inundated until I see you back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon Channel. Here's what I want you to do. Keep your wits about you and turn the TV off.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.